Hello, welcome to Luminari Mud. So we're gonna go through a little bit of the game, have some fun with this, give you a quick tour. We'll start here at the website, luminarimud.com. From the homepage, you'll get some basic information, including access to our Discord. If you want to get some help from living, breathing humans. We also have a video that talks about like the background and history, if you're interested. That, along with new video content, we'll have on our YouTube channel, which is called Luminari Mud. Please subscribe, like, and share. So also very important is we do support a GUI called Mudlet. Okay. So if you go here on the website and you go to Playport 4100, if you have your own, client that you like to use, please feel free. But this is the one we have official support for. So if you go ahead and click here and go to official Luminari GUI, there's a video here, also on the YouTube channel, and some basic instructions on how to download and set it up. When you go into the game, it should actually auto download. So I'm going to go ahead and log in the game. And you'll see when you log in the game, this downloading game GUI. Now, annoying thing right now is it's going to re-download it every time. So you can click cancel after you have it. But yeah, if you need any questions, I would start with the video and then the Discord channel if you're still having issues, right? So I'm going to log into a account here. I'm going to make a new one. So new test care 9. Oh, new test care new test care. Make a password. I think you can see here. So I'm gonna say fake password 555. Fake password 555. So you guys can access the account. Let me zoom in a little bit on this. So to zoom in, I'm gonna go into your settings. I'm going to my main display right here, and you can zoom. I'm gonna increase the text size here. I'm gonna make it like a little bit exaggerated. Yeah, it should be readable, I think, right? Save that. Great. So I'm gonna C for create a new character. Okay, I'm gonna call this character Blues. I'm not very creative, huh? Blues is my name. You can pick your sex. I'm gonna pick a male. M for male. Here's the races if you're new. If you know Pathfinder and some of the popular Dungeons and Dragons campaigns like Dragonlance and Forgotten Realms, you'll probably recognize all these races. But if you don't know what you're doing here, you can just pick whatever you want. You can look at the different options. Like if I type half orc, I'll see information about the race here. So do I select this race? No. My suggestion, if you've never played before, just go with human. Okay, so I'm gonna click human. Humans get extra feet, which is very helpful at the beginning of the game. I'm gonna pick, and there's obviously a lot of choices here. If you don't know what to pick warrior. It's the simplest, but still a ton of fun. In order to, demonstrate some of the, nuance of the game, I'm actually gonna pick wizard, because it's one of the harder classes to play. So click yes. Okay, and there's a choice. It could be pre-made or custom as far as your build. If you're completely new, then just go pre-made. If you're into Dungeons & Dragons, you like to build your own character, customs, there's another way to go to the custom. There's alignment. Now alignment, without getting into all the nuance, is kind of like a scale of how good to evil you are, although it's not exactly defined that way. There's two categories. There's your lawful, neutral, or chaotic. That's one side of it. And then there's good, neutral, or evil. So if you're like a paladin, you should be lawful good. If you're like an evil wizard that raises the dead and wants to take over the universe, then you're probably chaotic evil. I'm gonna go ahead and go true neutral. Okay, I know some races may have restrictions, and some classes do have restrictions as far as alignment. Do you wish to have the recommended preference flags enabled? I'm going to say yes. We'll talk about that in the game. Okay, so all the games, this is open source game, but all the branches of this game that exist so far encourage role playing, right? Because what's the fun of a text game? It's the ability to, you know, to role play and to go into another character and live in a world that doesn't exist, right? Or it exists in your mind. So we do suggest, there's no requirements to do it, but we do suggest role playing if you're into it. So what we do is we have three choices here. We can flag yourself as a non-role player and enter the game, flag yourself as a role player, enter an additional character info, or delay this decision and enter the game. So we're going to go through this process just so you get a look at it. So we click 2. All right, and here's all the options here, right? Now, you don't have to fill them all out. You could pick just one for starters. So what I'm going to pick is a short description, option O. Okay, so now you're going to type it in. So, born to a poor family, Blues found that he could make a great living by magic tricks. This led to his study of magic and his current journey. Okay, I'm not very creative, but whatever. So we're gonna pick one because right now, after I've done that, I have a short description of who my character is. Right, I'm an adult male human. To make it stand out a little bit, we want to describe something. So I'm going to describe my build. Here, 7 is describe build. I'm be very skinny. I want to make myself skinny and frail. Let's do there, 10 frail. Okay. So now I'm an adult human with a frail frame. Okay, now you get to choose whether you want to keep it, happy, whatever. Okay, I'm happy. I want to save it to my character, 1. Okay, and then that's it. I'm going to go into the game queue to go into the main menu. From here, you could add another description, like for your character, if you want. You could read the background story. It's through option 3. We also have a video. I think we have a video on this that is part of the intro. But you see, here's a background story. It's 3 pages, I believe. Yeah. Okay, and this is where you could change your password and delete this character. You can also return, press O to go back into the account menu. So here's my character. So we'll go back to press 1 is my first character here. So I'll press 1 to go into the character to enter the game. Okay, this is what we call the MOTD, message of the day. When you go to the game, it's a little short message telling the latest things that we'd like you to see that day. We haven't changed this in a while, to be honest. But there's some important stuff if you're interested. Press enter. Okay, and then 1 to enter the game. There you go. We are starting our adventure. Now, there's a lot of text. If you've never played a MUD before, this could be very overwhelming. You could just pause, take a breath, and scroll back up. So I'm going to scroll up here. So I entered the game. Now, one of the things is that we have a system where you could create groups and join groups, and that when you share the experience and treasure of your adventures, when you go into the game, it'll automatically put you into a group for convenience. That way, when you in case you summon mercenaries or summon monsters and stuff like that, they'll automatically join your group. It's a convenience thing that we do that. And when you start into the game, you're basically starting at level 1, so you're getting the bonuses of your race and your class at level 1. So I got 2 feat points. I didn't get any class feat points. I got 6 training sessions, and we'll go over what these really mean. And then I'm initializing the class of a wizard, so I'm going to be gating my class and my race. I see race here too. I'm getting the innate ability race skill, which means I get bonus skill points per level. Yeah, and then same with quick to master, which means I get bonus feats, or a bonus feat at level 1. And then my wizard, I get the first circle wizard spells. I get my ability to summon a familiar. I get the ability to scribe scrolls, and I get the weapon proficiencies of wizards. All right, and I get my first hit points gain, which is 5 hit points, 10 movement points. How many skill points I got this level, and we got some starting equipment. Okay. So now it says, welcome, this is your new character in Luminari. You can now earn gold, gain experience, find weapons and equipment, and much more, while meeting people from around the world. So this is the first, what we call room I'm in. It's a small island beach, and it describes what kind of environment it is. And here it says none, but if there's special like effects happening in this room, it would say it here. Then we have what we call the room description right here. The beach is made of white soft sand, and there are small waves cresting and falling to the shore. The beach itself is small, but the island is of decent size. Off to the north and south, there are similar scattered islands, and to the west is open ocean. Although it is difficult to see through the trees on the island, there appears to be a large landmass to the east. A well-constructed wooden building, obviously designed to withstand storms, is here, on the western shore of the island, right up the beach. I can't read, obviously. One of the options you can have is have a little ASCII map right here. So this is me right here, my location, and I'm in this room, indicated by these brackets. There's an exit to the east. And there's another room that way, and I can see there's a room to the north, and I can't see anything else from here. Right? This is the kind of visual representation that you could toggle on and off. Okay. There's a hint in the room description here. Type enter portal to exit the tutorial and enter into Mosswood Village. Don't skip the tutorial if you're new. Okay. So there's a portal, and this now when you go into a room, if by the default settings you'll see after the room description which exits are available. So there's an exit to the east, and then if there's any items or people in the room, you'll see that next. So here is an object. A portal is here. There's a person here. A human female stands here with a long flowing cloak. Okay, and then after that, you'll see my prompt, my character prompt, which shows my hit points. I have 25 out of 25 hit points, 830 out of 830 moves. My experience to next level is I need about 2,000 experience to gain my next level. How much gold I have. This is how long it takes me to prepare my spells. Now this is a lot. This is a prompt with a lot of information in it. This is not what I like personally. This is our action queue. So S stands for standard, M stands for move, and W stands for quick actions. We'll talk about more about that after too. This is the time in the game. This is the flags, this is a flag I have. RP indicates that I should be role playing. I should be behaving as my character in game. This indicates there's new news for me to view. I like to type the news command to see it. And MOT is the same thing. There's a new MOT that I haven't viewed, although I did actually view it, but you type the command to get rid of that, okay? And then we'll see some actions are happening. I don't have any spacing, so it's a little bit hard to read at first until you get used to it. But you see Nahalia, and Nahalia I know happens to be this human female that's standing here. Just finished a spell, right? And we don't know what the spell is. We don't understand what's going on. And then there's a game message. Welcome Blues as a newest adventure to Luminari Mud. Okay, now we have interaction from this individual in the room, right? The hooded woman looks at you in just a cloak draped over her hair. She then says, "My name is Nalia, and I'm here to welcome you to Luminari Mud." Okay, so there's a note from the game. We highly recommend going through the tutorial, even if you're experienced, because you'll get some bonus experience and items. This split screen is actually just this mudlet. When I went up like this, it says split screen like that. Luminari is heavily based on Pathfinder open gaming system for mechanics. For more info about this gaming system, please visit the Pathfinder website. Before moving forward, you should set your stats via the study command, a very important command. It's how you adjust what your stats are going to be between levels. Okay, this is a message, about the environment. The sun's at zenith, and then we also have this is a lot, right? We also have a hint system. There's a player-owned shop in Sanctus where you can buy different gear. From the center of Sanctus, head 3 south, 1 east, then 1 north. You'll find Weaver and Fags. I wonder if that's a typo. Owned by Ilianor and ran by Kyrt. And then it's a message here. You can type no hint or use pref edit to deactivate these hints. But if you're new, do not deactivate them. They're very helpful, right? Okay, so anyways, we're in here. Now, one of the first commands you'll need to know is look. You could just do L for short or type look. But type L. And again, that shows me in the room, okay? So now I said welcome, and I could see that I could go in the portal. I don't want to go that way. I'm a new person, so I'm going to go east. You could either type east or type E, or if you have if you have numlock off, I think. Yeah, numlock on, I think it is. You could use your numpad to navigate. See, I'm going west and then east. So I just went east. I'm in a new room. When I see there's a sign in the room, there's a room description, you can read that. And there's another individual in the room, right? I see those here. All right. I see I've moved from this room to this location. So I'm going to look at the sign. You could look at sign, or you could just type L sign. Please note this tutorial is under construction. It has areas that are not fully functional yet and may not work properly. We appreciate your patience while you work on things. Please feel free to reach out via the chat commands and our Discord server if you get stuck. And try out our help files. To read your help files, you just type help, right? You can type help topic, like help wizard, to get more details, right? So I'm going to change my prompt here because I personally am not used to all this information. So I'm going to type pref edit. Now, pref edit is like a mini menu system. So I type pref edit. Now I'm in this preference menu now. So see where P is for prompt? I'm going to go to prompt by to P. Now I want to just see my hit points. I want to see my moves. I don't want to see my experience. I'm going to press 5 to turn that off. I don't need to see the exits. So I'm going to turn that off. Then I'm going to mem times. I'm going to toggle off. I don't like that. And actions I want to keep on. Money I don't want to keep. 10 I'm going to turn off. And game time I don't care about either. I don't care about these things. Okay, so I'm going back to menu. While we're here, we can look at different things here. L is for page length. That means how many characters before you get a prompt to hit return to continue. So depending how spacious your menu is, you can modify the page length. Screen width by default is 80. It's the optimal setting for the game is to just leave it at 80. Otherwise, you could turn it up or lower to make sure when lines are continuing, then instead of like going off screen and you have to scroll your scroll bar, it'll go to the next line. We have the wimpy system. That means like when you get below this amount right here, you'll attempt to auto flee from combat. Very important to have as a new player. Encounters is when you're in our wilderness system. You could affect how many times you can run into counters. So sometimes they're just annoying. There's pluses too. Obviously, you can find items and bonuses and stuff like that. But sometimes you want to just run around and not worry about it, so you can turn it off. Okay, so I'm going to press Q to exit out of here. It's going to ask me to save. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to save. Okay, so now I see I still have the news and MOT, so I'm going to type news to get rid of that. I can see the news. December's news from Gicker of new changes to the game. I'm going to exit. See, there's here to continue to read more. So I'm just press Q to exit that. Okay, and I have the MOTD, which we've already read together. That's gone. Okay, great. Now I have a nice prompt. Okay, so we saw a sign that talked about the help file. So we're going to go ahead and go north, typing N. I see a box, and I see a keymaster. Now in my system, I have my text going down here. You'll see down here. So this person's called Query. It says, hello, Blues. Word spread fast about a new adventure around here. Before you learn about the abilities you possess and can learn, you must pass this door. The door needs to be unlocked with a key. To obtain the key, you must open box, then get key box. Once you have the key, you can unlock door and then open door. Sorry, it's going over basic commands you need to learn. So in the room is a box, so I could type look box first. Okay, that's what the box looks like. I could type look in box. It's closed. And again, shortcuts work. So I could look in box like that, L in box. So I want to open the box, open box. Great, now I can look in box, now it's open. In this box there's a key. So I'm going to take key. Well, you can do it word. You could say take key from the box. Oops, it closed. Take key from the box. But you just take key box, right? For example, and these shortcuts too, right? But now that I have a key, now, okay, what does that mean? That means it's on my person. And if what's on my person means, it means it's in your inventory. So inventory is inventory like this, or INV. I do INV for short. And I see, whoa, I got all these items, right? I got the key. I got some clothes and stuff like that. So what I like to do here is just type where all. That means I'm going to equip everything. And it'll attempt to equip everything that's in your inventory. You can see I got a quiver, backpack. Now I'm looking at my inventory again. Looks like I still got a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to actually just clean my inventory. I'm going to wield, I see a dagger, so I'm going to wield this dagger. Okay. And just to clean it up, I see all this other stuff. There's a note in my inventory, for example. I'm going to read note. Greetings, Wizard. In order to acquire new spells, you will have to either find scrolls through your adventure and scribe them, or find a research library and research the spell. You have heard of research library location in the Wizard Training Mansion. The room is called Great Hall Learning Study. So this is a clue for wizards where to find spells and how to get their spells. It's part of the more difficult class to play. So I have the key right there. What I'm going to do is I have also a spell book. So it's important that as a wizard I have my spell book on my person. So I'm going to go ahead and hold spell book for convenience. And then I'm wearing a backpack, see worn about body. So I'm going to put all backpack, BP for backpack. And I'll put everything in my backpack. Okay, so now my inventory is clear. Nice and organized, right? Okay, so when I head north, I see now from my little map here, I can't see anything to the north. But now that I'm in the room, there's actually a closed door, right? See, this indicates closed door right here. So I'm going to open door. Oh, it's locked. I don't have the key. So I have to take key from my backpack, take key BP, and then unlock door. Oh, oops. You have to unlock door direction. Door, N for north. And open door. Okay, so now if I look on the map, oh, more of the map is exposed right here. And I can see here that door is open, right? And by the way, it's the same, but you could do closed doors. So it's closed door north, lock door north, right? So we're going to unlock door north. Open door north. Okay, let's move north. Okay, so we're in this hallway right now. I see I have options to go either direction. Either north, back south, east, or west for the map, and also for my exits right here. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the sign first. Okay, it says east is combat training, west is spells and feat training. I'm going to go ahead east first since it's on the top there. Okay, there's a man in here and he's starting to speak to me. I see it. This is Garen. Welcome, Wizard. My name is Garen. I'm here to teach you how combat works in Lumia. There are many things that can happen before and during combat that can affect whether you stay alive. If you'd like to learn about combat, just say ready and we'll get started. Okay, let's do it. Say ready. Okay. Your awareness of combat is what can enable you to win or lose in battle. There are many abilities that are available called combat maneuvers that can be used to affect yourself or your opponent. Help combat maneuvers for information. Let's take Trip, for example. Trip is like knockdown ability. During combat, if you use the Trip ability, there's a chance that you'll trip your opponent, knocking them to the ground. While they're on the ground, they are more likely to be hit, less likely to hit others. Also can interrupt spells and stuff like that too. The enemies you face also have access to these combat maneuvers. In the case that you've been tripped, you will need to stand to get back up so you're not in a major disadvantage in combat. Going through the help files and learning each combat maneuver will help you succeed in combat. These maneuvers are not required to win combat battles, but they can give you a major advantage. One last thing, in order to gauge the difficulty of your opponent, use the consider command, or con victim for short. So for example, con man, there's a man in the room, right? So like a con man, consider man. You are mad. Don't mess with this guy. Good luck in your adventures. If you're struggling with this concept, please don't hesitate to ask on chat or ask an immortal. There's almost always someone willing to help. Now, one thing right now, I will just give you a reality thing. We don't have a lot of players right now, unfortunately. Now, there's a lot of people that like the game, are interested in the game, passionate about the game, but they're just not able to log in because they're busy with life. So if you go to our Discord server, open Discord, and I'll show you right here. We have a very active Discord server. You know, we have lots of people there, and if you need help, you go in here and ask for help, you'll get a response. So we apologize for the lack of activity. Part of the challenge is we don't have any staff right now because everybody's so busy with everything. But yeah, the game is here to enjoy, and we're around, so don't be shy to reach out for help. Okay, so we learned about combat maneuvers. I'm going back to this room here. Okay, and I remember to the west is something about spells. I could look at the sign again. Spells and feats training. So I'm going to go west. Okay, a muscular trainer standing here with no shirt and no shoes. Okay, this person's Aduriel says, "Welcome, Wizard. My name is Aduriel, and I'm here to teach you how the feat system works in Lumia. The feat system is based off Dungeons & Dragons and enables each player to customize a character to fit their individual playstyle. If you'd like to learn about feats, just say ready and we'll get started. So I'm going to say ready. So say, see here's my message, say right here, is one of our communication channels. Say you'll say a message to the room, and so everybody in the room can see what you're saying. If I type chat, hello world, everybody in the game, see this chat right here? Everybody in the game will see my message. Okay. So there's different channels. We have different channels like grat is for congratulations, congrats. Right, and something to know is that when you talk in the game, it also does talk to our Discord. So somebody, like I said, hello world. So everybody in Discord channel that's available will see that message. It's a neat little thing we have set up. Okay, so here he talked about feats. Feats are edited in a menu that lists and controls how you spend your feat points. Feats, which is a study menu. Feats can improve or add abilities to your character as well as unlock different types of equipment or weapons. Since there are many feats to choose from, it enables players to customize their character. Someone may create a warrior that does not deal much damage but does not take very much damage due to the feats they choose. Someone else might do the exact opposite. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and see what that menu says. So we can type study command right now, so type study. Okay, now there's a lot of words here, but right now what we're doing is we're setting our stats, right? Now we have a point system. The more points, or the higher you make your stat, and here's your base stats right here, in this column right here. If your race has modification stats, you'll see them here. This is age, which isn't relevant at the moment. But your final calculated stats will be in this column, right? And then you have points to distribute here. You have to distribute all your points, right? Now you could give up to 6 points in a stat without it losing value, right? So for example, if I put 0 for strength first, right? Well, I'm going to start with intelligence because I'm a wizard. So if I press 3 for intelligence first, right, it says please enter the value to modify your stat by. So either it's going to be a value of flat values, so I could put 6. You'll see my intelligence went to 14, and it only cost me 6 points, right? And then my final stat would be 14 then, right? Now, if I add another point to intelligence, so pick 3 for intelligence again, add one more point to it to go to 15, you'll see that that cost me actually 2 points, right? The extra stats above, extra points above 6 you spend, as you see over here, will cost an extra point, right? So the more higher you move your stats above, investing 6 per stat cost you more, as a as a heads up. So I can reduce my stats and reduce my intelligence by 1. Now I like for all classes, well, not all classes, but for wizard you have to have very high intelligence. You want some constitution to add, which adds hit points. I want to add 6 to that. And then I want dexterity to have 6. So now I have 14 dexterity, constitution, intelligence. I want to make sure I don't get a wisdom penalty, because if you have below 10, you'll get penalties. So I'm going to add 2 to my wisdom. And then I have 14 points left. I want to just try to boost my intelligence as much as possible. So I'm going to put 4 here. I think I give 4 more. Oh, make it go higher. So that's a maximum. 18 is a max we can go. So I got 18 intelligence now and 4 more points. What I'll do is I'll remove the penalties from strength and charisma by adding 2 each. So strength, I'll add 2. And then charisma, 5, I'll add 2. Now I have 0 points left. Okay. So now I could quit and I'm done. Q to get out. So now my stats have been set. Now here's the study menu. Don't be intimidated by this because you're not going to be using all these options, right? It depends on your class. The important thing to know is every, I believe, 4 levels, you get to add a bonus stat point. So you'll see this option will open when you get that. And then feats every class has. And then other things is class dependent, looks like, except for maybe languages. Okay. So the things I do have to do here is the skills for starters. Now you get at the very first level, you get a bunch of points, right? You get 44 points. Then every level you gain, you get less points, right? So what we'll do here is I'm going to pick my skills. Skills that are cross-class ability cost double, and you have a a maximum cap that's about half someone who has a class ability, right? So it's best to, unless you really need them, to stick with your class abilities. So the ones I like is I like to have spellcraft is very important, right? So I'm gonna type spellcraft. Oops, did I spell it right? Spellcraft, and it's spelled right. Okay, so I'm gonna repeat that to the maximum at first level is 4, so I'm gonna get 4 points in that. I'm also gonna get concentration. Concentration helps me make sure I don't have my spells interrupted. So I'm gonna get 4 of those. Arcana, Appraise, let's see, what else is important? Linguistics, Nature, Ride. Ride is for riding, use magic device. You know what, I'm gonna go with Arcana. That's probably important for Wizard, I can't remember. Next one I'll go for Insight. Now it looks like I have enough points to actually go for all my class abilities maybe, so I'm gonna go for Praise next, History. Okay, and Appraise. Now I know some people just turn this into like a alias. And then you don't have to like help going through this slowly, but if you're first time playing, there's no rush, you know. Medicine. That means I could treat my own wounds. Linguistics, Religion, Ride, Spellcraft. Let's do Ride. Then I could ride horses better. Okay, Religion. It looks like I could do all this. Maybe it's because my intelligence is so high. Use magic device, get those, and looks like I picked everything. Oh no, linguistics or nature? Nature. I don't need the linguistics. Okay, once you've used all your points, you do have to spend them all, I think. All but one maybe. Quit. Okay, you'll see it grayed out. That means I'm done with that. Now is feats. Now this is what we're talking about with this classroom. Now this, this is part of Dungeons & Dragons. There's a lot of choices and customization, right? And it could be, if you've never done it before, it could be very overwhelming, so you should do a pre-made character instead of a custom one. But once you learn your way around, this is where all the fun is at, you know? So I want to go to my spellcasting feats. Those are very important. Okay, and quick chant makes me cast spells quicker, so I'm going to click that one first, 417. See, I have two... I could pick 2 feats, so I'm going to take that one first. Okay, and then let's see here. Faster memorization sounds great. I'm going to go with that. 302. Memorization is how you recover your spells, get your spells back into your queue, so you can use them. Okay, and I've used all my feat points. See, they're all at 0 now. So I'm a Q to exit, Q to go back again. Okay, so I'm done with my feats. Now as a wizard, I get to choose a familiar. That's one of my abilities, so go familiar. I'm going to take a fairy dragon number 8. Okay, once I've selected that, you'll see it's right here. I'm going to hit Q to get out. Okay, now wizards could also skill to pick a wizard school selection, so we go to school selection. Now, I'm actually going to stay as a universalist. I'm not going to have any specialty, so I'm going to get out of this. And that's it. That's all I need to do, I believe. So I'll type Q to get out of here. This is where you get to save. So I'm type yes. And boom. And now he's talking to me. Adriel says, I understand the menu will be a bit confusing at first. Please do not hesitate to ask a mortal or another player for help if you get confused. Lumi is home to many friendly people. Okay, let's talk about a couple other important commands that are used to customize your character. Every time you level, you'll earn training points and occasional boost points. And so we talked about that in the menu. That's like every, I think, 4 levels you could add to your stats. Training or skill points, as we call them. We set up here in skills, option 0. So that's what we're talking about there. Okay, and then once you have enough experience to, so let me show another important menu. I'm gonna type score. This shows my stats, my character stats, right? So here's experience to next level. Once I have enough experience to next level, I could type gain to gain a level, right? So I type gain, and then you'll have options of which class to choose. So we'll get to, when we get to that, we'll talk about it. Again, there's a lot of information here. All right, so it's a matter of just kind of, getting used to that. Okay, so I completed this room. I'm gonna type look to see where I'm at. Okay, so let's go west. All right, so we have a professor of spellcasting here speaking to me, Ravanda. Hello, Blues. Being a wizard can make you very vulnerable in combat, which is why you need to become skilled in your ability to cast spells. I can teach you everything you need to know. Just say, teach me, and we'll get started. Okay, say, teach me. Okay. I'm very excited. Let's get started right away. No reason to dilly-dally. The first step in preparing your spells is resting so you can easily memorize what you need to cast. If you are a wizard, make sure your spellbook is equipped or in your inventory. That's very important, right? So we did it before. I type EQ to see what I have equipped. There's a spellbook right there. I can even type look in the spellbook. I can see what spells are in that spellbook, right? Now the spellbook is where you look to. Now this is all done automatically, so you don't have to remember, worry about this. But the spellbook is a source of which spells you can memorize. So the first step is I'm going to rest to get a position to memorize spells. Okay. Okay, we're going to try the shield spell that you have available. To prepare the spell, type memorize shield or mem shield for short. Now, there's one thing that's not mentioned is quotes. So if you type mem shield, it'll tell you must enclose it within these single quotes, right? So you have to type mem quote shield. Oh, that's not the name of the spell either. That's confusing. So look in. Oh, nothing you do instead of looking spellbook. You just type spells, the word spells. Okay. And you can see right here, Mage Shield is what's called. Okay. And 3 Beast is base spell cast time. So Mage Shield has a 3 casting time. Magic Missile is instant, has 0 casting time. Summon Creature has a 5 casting time. Those are the 3 spells I have available in my spellbook for my level. So we're going to do mem, quote, mage, shield would work. The same thing would memorize, mage, shield would work. Also, you can even shorten that too. So you could do mem, shield, and that would work too. You start to memorize for mage shield. You continue your studies. You finish studying for mage shield. Your studies are complete, right? So if I type mem, again, without any arguments, I'll see my spell list, right? I have this spell in my memory. Here's a section for Q, right? And this is how many more spells I could put into my memory. So I could put another spell in there. So I'm going to memorize Summon Creature I. SCI for Summon Creature 1. And then I'm typing mem, and you can see I have Mage Shield in my memory. I was preparing Mage Shield, which takes 3 seconds, and then I have no ability to prepare more spells, so I could only have 2 first circle spells, right? So now that I finish a spell, I can type mem, and I have in my memory Mage Shield and Summon Creatures, right? Okay. Now the teacher says, okay, good. Oh wait, sorry. The higher your level, the more spells you can have memorized at once. Okay, so let's see you cast it on yourself. So you need to stand to get back up because we were resting. And I'm going to cast M shield. And then if I put no argument, then you'll target yourself if it's a defensive spell, beneficial spell. If you don't put a target and it's in combat, it's in a offensive spell, it automatically casts a spell on the person you're fighting. So I'm just going to type cast M shield. That'll target myself. It shows you begin casting your spell. Here's effects of the casting spell. Matter shimmers, becoming malleable. A fabric reality begins to shift. Physical laws bend to your will. You complete your spell. A magic shield of force appears in front of you. Okay. Awesome. So now I could type to see how the shield's affecting me. I could type. There's a lot of commands here. I could type AFF for effects. And see, I can see I get 2 bonus to my armor class from this Mage Shield spell for 19 minutes. And you see hints here for other commands to view different aspects of the gameplay, like cool down. All right, it'll show you if you have any cooldowns. You type resist to show your resistances, if I have any, and everything's like base level. I don't have any spell resist. I don't have any conceal. I don't have any general damage reduction. You type abilities to see your abilities. I have none of those. And then we have another menu, damage reduction. If you could see if you have any damage reduction. As a new player, you're not going to have any of these things, right? We did mention here that I have, let's see here, let me type I do have a familiar, so I'll just show you how to do that. I'm going to say call familiar. And remember that fairy dragon we chose before? You call forth a familiar. A fairy dragon starts following you. You can call your companion even if you get separated. You can also dismiss your companion to reduce your cooldown drastically. Cooldown. So I can't just recall my fairy dragon whenever I want, right? If my fairy dragon dies or I somehow lose the fairy dragon, I'll have to wait on a cooldown. So I'll type cooldown to show how much that is. Right now, if I dismiss the fairy dragon, dismiss fairy, and I type cooldown, you'll see that my cooldown is drastically reduced, right? The penalty is much reduced. Okay, so we're going to pause here.